Hello, I am doing this video to combat some hateful rhetoric that I received a weekend ago. There's a person who identifies herself as Dr. Sharon Fair. She's not a medical doctor. She has her PhD, but not in any medical science. Now, she posted a picture of my boat that she stalked me and took a picture of, trying to get people to hate against me because of my flags on my boat, two of which are my transgender flag and my pride flag. Now, she also states that transgender does not belong with LGB and, of course, the T. Well, what Miss Feeblemind isn't smart enough to understand, many transgender people, like myself, are bisexual. Many transgender women are transgender lesbians. And she also states if you're, men or XY. No, we're not all XY, my dear. You might want to look up the term intersexed. Get a little education. I'm sure you have heard of a hermaphrodite, somebody born with both sets of genitals. But I have some true factual data for you, okay? This is done by an attorney, okay? And I'm going to play her video for you now.
Ever look at some data and go, that can't be right, but it's the data, so it has to be? Well, in week 34 of Who's Making News for Sex Crimes Involving Children, that's exactly where I found myself. The obvious data: in 34 weeks, not a single drag queen, only 3 transgender people out of thousands of cases. That is still absolutely correct. But I was looking at states like Indiana and wondering why their numbers seemed so much lower than I expected. And I found out, it turns out that some states use slightly different terminology in their criminal classifications. So many Indiana cases in particular, some Florida cases as well, among others, were not getting picked up in my screens. But now they are. And that's why this week, a record 259 cases have been added to our database, because quite a few of those added this week are actually from previous periods. The basics have not been dramatically altered. Aside from family members, family friends, and neighbors, those involved in the religion industry remain far and away the biggest single grouping of offenders. But this week, we had more attorneys who made news than evangelical pastors. That's a first. We even picked up a Florida judge. And yes, 2 pastors, 3 priests, the usual groupings of suspects. But expect the totals to be growing more rapidly in coming weeks. And Indiana has jumped several states to 19th in our ranking of the number of cases per capita. As did Florida, it moved up too. Solid Republican states still occupy 8 of the worst 10 and 16 of the worst 20 states for assaults on children. I cannot explain it, it is just the data. But it does put a whole different spin on who the groomers and abusers actually are. It's not the drag queens. There hasn't been a single one who made news for assaulting a child in the United States in the past 34 weeks. And it's not the transgender people either. Only 3 of the 3,565 cases now in the database, substantially less than 0.1%, are transgender individuals. You can review the data yourself. You can download it, sort it any way you like, and let us know if you see something that we missed or got wrong. The data is at whoismakingnews.com.
So there you go, Miss Fair. Take your hate and just go away. And by the way, since you posted that video for the swim club, I'm going to reach out to him. I'm going to reach out to him and see if I can't get their bathrooms upgraded. Now, see, some good corporations like the Wawa Corporation, right after back in the day when North Carolina tried to ban people like me from the women's room, good corporations like Wawa put little dividers over their doors so you couldn't see in the cracks. Okay, many organizations did that. And you know what? none of us are creepy people. It's you that's the creepy people. It's you Republicans, you right-wingers that do all the biggity shit and all the hate against people that the hate doesn't belong projected against. You say trans women aren't women. You know what? We're not. We're trans women. We're different. We're a hybrid. We literally are the best of both worlds because we lived our lives as men and we are now living them as women. And yes, are we technically the same? No, we're not. We're doing the best that science can offer us at the present time, okay, for us to get along happy in our life. We don't go around doing the stuff you do, like stalking people, taking pictures, and try to project hate on other people. I think you need to grow up, lady. And you'll be hearing from me because I went to the police department and filed a report, and I'm not done at the police department. I'll see you soon.